Join me now, education reform advocate, founder of For Kids and Country, and author of the book Standing Up to Goliath, Rebecca Friedrichs. Rebecca, thank you for joining me.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Rebecca, where do you stand on this issue? We see the teachers' unions and teachers saying that the idea of reopening schools right now is politically motivated. Then we have parents also, taking this to court, saying that virtual learning isn't acceptable. What about our taxpayer dollars? How am I supposed to teach my own kids using computer equipment, all these things I don't even know anything about?
Well, for once, I agree with the teachers' unions. It is political, but it's the teachers' unions that are making it political. So they are using this. They never let a crisis go to waste. And the teachers' unions, who, by the way, do not represent most great teachers out there, they are using this to push their very radical agenda to control and literally blackmail Americans, using our children as pawns so that they can get their way and bring harm, literally, to our president and to this election cycle. As far as parents suing, I don't blame them at all. What's interesting to me is a lot of charter schools and private schools have handled the transition to virtual learning amazingly, but the public schools can't seem to get it straight. Why? Because they're controlled by unions who come in and in LA Unified fought so teachers only had to teach 4 hours a day. And every public school teacher I know hasn't been given adequate training. They had the whole summer. What did they do with it? They didn't train the teachers, so the children aren't being educated well. And there's been all kinds of problems. Just yesterday, some parents were telling me that children that the Zoom meetings were infiltrated by some kind of pornography. Parents don't want that kind of stuff. We need to protect our kids. We need to bring our schools back to community level, not let labor unions run them.
Yeah, and it's usually, you hear a lot of the politicians who don't have young kids right now that are in schools, or very wealthy people who can afford to have tutors and people teach their kids for them, and they don't have to worry about childcare and all these other things that are for keeping schools closed down and virtual learning, if you will. But everyone else, just the average American and people I talk to, they're just completely overwhelmed. And look, I understand the part where there are some teachers who are immunocompromised, who are in that age range where this could be a big risk for them to go back to school. But if you think about elementary, K through 8, a lot of the teachers are pretty young and they're not really in that age range.
Well, and you know what else? There are options. If there are some teachers that have some issues, let those teachers, give them a special assignment. Put them on, I don't know, creating lessons for the other teachers or something. But the majority of teachers, in fact, every single public school teacher I have personally spoken to across this country wants to get back into the classroom, wants to work, wants to be with the children. They are not being represented. Like I said before, this is the unions playing politics again at the expense of teachers, at the expense of children, at the expense of families and our economy and our country. Shame on them. We need to get our schools back to a place where parents and teachers work together, and labor unions. Why in the world are labor unions? Why do they have so many opinions on education? They're not education experts, they're labor unions. So let's get it back to the families and the teachers.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.